I'm fighting like the 1% that controls the NYPD and makes it corrupt, right? Corrupt as in they're going out and extorting places, right? Yo, this is BS. Like, this is, more worse than a gang, right? Because at least in a gang, you guys are friends and you guys are hanging out, and it's not like they're going to peer pressure you. You're like, oh, you don't want to do it? All right, fine, don't do it, right? Let somebody else do it, right? But whatever the case is, but that DOA, it's been expired there for days, and it smells terribly. The body's bloated. If they have a cat or whatever, the cat will be eating at it.
Oh my gosh.
Roaches are coming out of the eyeballs and stuff like that.
Holy crap.
Then the ME comes, and you got to sit in the apartment.
Oh my God.
Right? So they'll make you got to be in the apartment. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you got to sit in the apartment with the person, and you're like, oh my God, what? You can't even breathe. Some people.
This sounds unreal to me, by the way.
Lucky Boys Podcast.
And I became a police officer. Why? Because stability, right? And I figured at that time I was so naive. I thought NYPD was not politically driven. It follows the law. This is the law, and that's that. Wrong.
Like straight up, like everything was very black and white. Good guys versus bad guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Wrong. Culture shock. I was so culture shocked.
Like, holy shit,
Everything
this is like a gang.
It's worse. It's worse than a gang. Because in a gang, you guys are just hanging out and protecting the neighborhood or protecting the people back then, right? That's what the gangs did. This gang, like you said, right? Production driven. Numbers. You're not a person. You're to go out and produce numbers. Right?
Like a salesperson? Like that's for a company?
So every cop had to bring in 20 summonses and 1 arrest every month.
Holy shit, that's
what happens
new.
when that doesn't happen?
You get fucked with.
Oh.
Right?
Like how? Like they haze you?
Yes, they haze you. They flip your locker. Because they don't just mess with you. They mess with your whole squad. So that your squad will mess with you too. Be like, yo, we're getting messed with because you're not pulling your weight. You need to you need to check yourself. Right? And so your squad will like, yo, we're standing on these effed up foot posts. We're getting these effed up assignments because of you. You're not bringing in your numbers. Bring in your numbers, And then if you continue not following that behavior,
mm-hmm.
then you get bad evaluations, right? You get messed with, like, oh, you can't have this, your uniform is out of state, whatever, we're gonna give you a command discipline for that, take away vacation days. They start punishing you.
They could do that, take away vacation days?
That's how they punish you. So they take away time, right? So it's called command discipline. We call it CD, right? So when they give you a CD, it could be a Schedule A, a Schedule B, or a Schedule C now, right? So a Schedule A is for like minor infractions. You lose your ID card or you lose equipment, stuff like that. If you lose your shield or you lose a parking plaque or something like that, or you do something more serious, you could lose up to 2 to 10 days. A Schedule C now is like even worse now, right? So they have these tools to punish you. And then if you try to take a day off, if you need a day off, they're going to be like, no. And then on your days off, since you don't like producing, they're going to give you order overtime, and you have to be out in the street, and you have no days off now, right?
That's physically exhausting.
Yes. So
holy
that's
cow.
that's how they keep messing with you. So, and then on top of that, they're going to, like, let's say they'll get me to get an arrest, all right? Like somebody else in your squad to get an arrest, and then they'll dump that arrest on you. They'll find the worst kind of arrest for you to do, right? It'll be like a homeless man that smells and stuff like that, or something really, really bad. And then they'll just assign it to you and be like, all right, now you stay with him 24/7. So now you're sitting next to a smelly homeless guy. You got to touch him. You got to search him. And then you got to take him all the way down to central booking and sit. And then he's going to be, most likely he probably has mental problems or something like that, right? And so now you have to take him to the psych ward. You have to sit with him at the psych ward until they release him, which is usually like 2 days. right? So you have to sit with him at the psych ward until he's released, and then you take him back to the precinct, and then you have to fingerprint him, and then you have to. It's exhausting. They punish you like that. Or let's say there's a DOA, which is like a dead body, right? Person that's deceased, sitting in an apartment. Let's say something like this, right? The person lives alone, so nobody's gonna know until maybe a week later, a couple days later. Well, in summer, a couple days later, and the neighbors will call for foul odor. People will go there and realize, okay, it's a dead body. Oh, you know what? Assign it to Lee.
Did that happen to you?
Yeah, it happens to me.
So you got.
I even got punished because
you got punished with the homelessness and the homeless person into the psych ward.
These are real stories.
I got punished for a couple of things.
So these are firsthand stories.
Yes, and I even got punished for his brother-in-law because he was my partner at the time, right? And he was always like did the right thing. He didn't follow the quota system and stuff like that. He always did the right thing. It's like whenever he saw a crime, that's when he would take action. But if he doesn't see anything, he's not going to go and look for something and make up something just for the sake of activity, right? So, they would punish me too because they're like, oh, you need to get him in line. I'm like, he's his own person. Why are you punishing me? Like, that has nothing to do with me. We're just partners. We work together, like. So, after that, I'm like, yo, this is BS. Like, this is, more worse than a gang, right? Because at least in a gang, you guys are friends and you guys are hanging out, and it's not like they're gonna peer pressure you. You're like, oh, you don't want to do it? All right, fine, don't do it. All right, let somebody else do it. Right? But whatever the case is, but that DOA, it's been expired there for days, and it smells terribly. The body's bloated. If they have a cat or whatever, the cat will be eating at it.
Oh my gosh.
Roaches are coming out of the eyeballs and stuff like that.
Holy crap.
Then the ME comes, you got to sit in the apartment.
Oh my god.
Right? So they'll make you got to be in the apartment. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So you got to sit in the apartment with the person, and you're like, oh my god, what? You can't even breathe. Some people.
This sounds unreal to me, by the way.
It's
true.
It's
I've heard my cop friends tell me these exact same stories.
What?
Yes.
My cop friends does not tell me anything.
This
Man,
shields
they
you,
hold it
man.
out.
This shields you.
They
yeah.
are. They're treating me with kid gloves.
Your cop friends are probably part of the machine. So the other half is if you drink the Kool-Aid, right? We call it. If you drink the Kool-Aid and you go along with the system and you're part of their club, you get treated on the other side of the spectrum, which is, hey, you want a day off? Yeah, no problem. We'll get so-and-so to cover, which is somebody like me,
Oh, okay.
Or, oh, yeah, they're having like like let's say the guy's a big baseball fan. Oh, can I do the Shea Stadium detail and stuff like that? Yeah, no problem. Take it, or it's like, hey, I want to work this sector because this sector is slower. I don't have to do that much work. Yeah, no problem. Take that sector. It's much more relaxed job for you. It's like you get the benefits. So it's brainwashing you. Like
They give you positive reinforcement,
right,
and negative reinforcement.
yes, and you don't have anybody messing with you. If you make a mistake or you slip up, they're like, oh, this is how you do it, blah blah blah. But somebody like me, they'll be like, oh, you're getting command discipline, blah blah. You find out what you did wrong. Come back to me when you find out what you did wrong, and so forth and so on. And nobody's talking to you because they associate with you. Then they get backlash also. So now you get isolated and F with.
Exile them. You exclude them. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the worst punishment is isolation.
Yes. I learned to find a middle ground because fortunately in the 6-7 precinct where I worked, right, as a police officer, it's a busy precinct, right? And so in a busy precinct, the cops are more tight. It's more like family, right? Because
you got to look out for one another.
Right, because there's constant shootings happening in the neighborhood and stuff like that, and it's a rough neighborhood.
I totally get that.
Right, and you become closer because those are the only people you can really count on to watch your back when you're out there, right?
Yeah.
And to come and show up to be back up.
Those are your brothers.
Right. Brothers and sisters.
Yeah, brothers and sisters.
And we all in the back of our head knew the quota system is messed up, right? But you know what? We got to play the game.
No one speaks out against it?
No. Well,
there are some.
If
people
there's so many people that are against it,
there
isn't
are documentaries.
At least one
done.
police officer that's a Karen that's gonna like go. You know what? No way.
So let me tell you about one major person that spoke out about it, Schoolcraft, Adrian Schoolcraft. He spoke out about it. He did recordings about, at roll call, hey, you guys need to bring in 20 summonses. We want these kind of summonses. Now they're starting getting picky, right? And all this because of the ComStat, right? So, you need to bring in these kind of summonses and these kind of arrests, so forth and so on. So he recorded, he exposed it. What happened was he was out sick, all right? While you're out sick, you have to remain in your home, right, during your work hours. The commanding officer of the precinct came to his house, demanded to go inside his house. He said, no, you need a warrant. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Instead, they broke into his house, dragged him out of his house, and put him in the psych ward.
What the fuck? Why?
Yeah.
Why in a psych ward?
Because they said that he was acting irrational and that he's an EDP. EDP means emotionally disturbed person. That's what we call someone who has mental problems, right? So they psyched him. This person at the psych ward was like, there's nothing wrong with him. Why you bring him here? But they did that to punish him, right? And then show a record that he's crazy and stuff like that to discredit him.
Oh, shit.
Right? To show a track record, because they're going to be like, okay, this officer, no, he's just disgruntled because he's not a good officer. Look,
Dude, you're literally blowing my mind right now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So, this guy's not a good officer because he has, CCRBs, he has command disciplines, he's been punished for this, punished
What's
for
CCRB?
that. Civilian Complaint Review Board. It's a civilian thing, so they don't
Heard of
really
it,
use that much, right? But they use the internal system, which is why they don't reveal it. They use the internal system, and it's like, this person was punished for this and punished for this and punished for this before, so he's, a problematic person. And look, on top of that, he's been EDP'd, he has a psych history, blah, 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 so forth and so on, right? And then discredits him towards the media, to the public. That's what they do. They character assassinate you. Another person is Edwin Raymond, recently, from the NYPD 12, him and 11 other officers, total of 12 officers.
Wow, 12 officers.
Right.
Yeah.
And
holy crap.
they're all current police officers still on the job. Edward Raymond is now a lieutenant, running for city council also.
While being an active
right.
police officer.
He's still an active police officer.
You could do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Just like me.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
still
an
active also.
police officer.
Oh, you're still active?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he exposed the quota system and the corruption within it also, and how they were punishing him if he didn't come along with the program, like what I was telling you. So if you watch Crime and Punishment, right, it's
a documentary on Hulu.
Right, and it's actually free on YouTube right now, right? So you can actually watch it for free.
Crime and Punishment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's crime and then plus sign punishment, right? And you'll be shocked what's going on, because they actually documented it, like real live. Like they'll wear a mic or they'll wear like a hidden video, and they got footage in the documentary. So it's not like they're making the stuff up, right? So this is the culture of it. Okay, so back to me. So in 2013, I got promoted to sergeant, right? Because I kept on getting like bad supervisors that kept on trying to push the quota system thing on me, and I was like, you know what, I need to get promoted. And
I'm sorry. That's quota thing. Is that based on who your supervisor is? Like, does each one kind of manage it differently?
No, everybody has it.
Everyone has it.
Everyone has it.
So there's that same pressure across the board
everywhere in NYPD.
Wow.
So it's different though for different precincts, right? For busy precincts, it used to be 20 and 1, 20 summonses, 1 arrest, and they all can't be parkers
per month.
Yeah, per month, and they all can't be parkers. It has to be like moving violations, stuff like that, or criminal summonses and stuff like that.
That's why I got 4 tickets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially towards the end of the month.
Yeah. Towards the end of the month, I got killed.
Yeah, end of the month or the beginning of the month. Yeah. So some people like to get rid of the activity beginning of the month, so they don't have to worry about it towards the end. Some people wait till like they don't really want to do it, and then at the end of the month they get pressured to do it, and then end of the month they do it. Right?
So they gotta hustle.
Right. So other precincts, like slower precincts, they'll do 20 summonses, but they'll do 1 arrest every quarter.
Okay.
All right. But there's still a quota system out there. especially during like the 250 thing when Giuliani was pushing the 250 thing, or Bloomberg.
Sorry,
Bloomberg was pushing the 250's stop, question, and frisk.
The stop and frisk.
Yeah. So Bloomberg was pushing that hard.
Well, that started with Giuliani, right?
Giuliani and Bloomberg, but they were pushing it hard, where it was like you need to bring in a certain amount of stop, question, frisk, 250s, right? And it's like, we're not searching anybody. Like, if I'm not finding anybody to search, what do you want me to do? And it's like, oh, you could find somebody on the sidewalk or whoever you stop, just search them or pat them down.
Shit, that's
so that's
crazy.
why it started beginning.
It became more of like a targeting.
Right. So it's like somebody that's walking down the street is like, all right, let's just stop this person. And
without any
right
due cause or whatever.
Exactly. Or these kids are hanging out here. Oh, you know what? They're not supposed to be hanging out here technically. They're blocking the sidewalk. Let's go and search them. Right. And just get the 250s out of the way or stuff like that. So Edward Raymond exposes that also, how it targets minority neighborhoods, because in minority neighborhoods, the shootings are up or the crime rate is up, but they use the 250 as an excuse at CompStat when they ask, hey, what are you doing about this rising crime rate? And they'll say, oh, we're issuing more summonses by the broken windows law, right? Mm-hmm. The broken windows rule, which is like stop smaller crimes so to it will stop the bigger crimes.
The bigger crimes, yeah.
But the way they're doing it is not the correct way. What they doing is they pressure the cops to just stop average Joe citizens. No, you have to stop the people that are actually doing crime.
In the lower income neighborhoods.
Right, in the lower income neighborhoods. So it's mostly like black and brown neighborhoods, right? And they would stop them, we have increase of stop, question, frisk. We've been searching people, and they'll say, oh, we've been searching gang members or whatever for guns when we see them in the street, or known perpetrators when we see them in the street, or, we're giving out more summonses for, bikes on sidewalk, because they claim that these people riding bikes on sidewalks are carrying guns on them and they're riding around being lookouts or whatever, right? Which is not true. Some people just riding the bike on the sidewalk,
right?
Because they don't want to get hit by a car, because in these minority neighborhoods, the roads are not fixed.
There's no bike lane.
Right, there's no bike lane.
Yeah,
so
there's
they
a lot
ride
of
the bike on the
potholes.
sidewalk.
Yeah,
right.
I'm well aware of that.
Yeah, so they ride their bike on the sidewalk. So they use that. We were once told that a bike on a sidewalk summons is more valuable than a gun arrest. And we're
Why?
like, because at that time that was the flavor, right? The hot topic.
It's the flavor of the month.
Yeah. Oh. So it's like we were all like, wait a second, you're telling us riding a bike on a sidewalk summons is worth more than a gun arrest? Like, I'd rather get a gun off the street than stop somebody.
So what happened to Officer Raymond? Like right now with him putting this at the forefront, is there any action being? Is this gaining momentum?
So Edward Raymond is gaining momentum, especially now that he's running for city council, and hopefully it'll change that, right? So now that's the quota system. He's fighting the quota system corruption. I'm fighting the I don't want to say corruption, but like this a different part of the system. Right, because that's just one part of the system. That's the number crunching part of the system, the one that brings money and income into the system.
It's the revenue, right?
I'm fighting like the 1% that controls the NYPD and makes it corrupt, right? Corrupt as in they're going out and extorting places.